Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Devya Sajjana Mitro, welcome. Let us go ahead. We are doing CA, Inter, Tax, Direct Tax, NTTI, Heads of Income, Income from Salary, and we are near completion of the first part of salary, that is allowances. Under allowances, we are learning how to calculate the amount which is exempt. So there is going to be an amount which is received. From the amount received, we will subtract the amount which is exempt. We are done with some of the big calculations, that is gratuity, pension, leave encashment, voluntary retirement. We are done with the big table of provident funds as well. But we are still not done with allowances. And perquisites, so we have not started only, no bro. Abhi tak to allowances are going on, and perquisites we have not started only. So no problem. But today we will get done with allowances. It's a matter of time now. Only couple of sections now remaining. Section 10, 13A. The tax exemption for house rent allowance, that is HRA. If you remember, HRA is that allowance with which I start. If you remember, HRA is that allowance with which I start the meaning of. If I have to explain someone what is meaning of allowance, I take HRA as an example. And now the allowance ka name is self-explanatory. Guess why is your employer giving you this money? For paying rent of house. So there will be some money received from your employer. From the money so received, you will be spending some amount in the form of rent. Correct? Hai? So unfortunately, you will be left with probably nothing, and for which we are giving you an exemption. Here, directly the calculation is given, because it's not about small amount, big amount. It is going to be that monthly rental amount which employer is giving you, and from that amount you are spending for paying rent of your house. So least of the first one you should be able to answer. It is always the same. Actual receipt, which is obviously going to be given to you. In fact, it is this amount from which we will be calculating your exemption. Second, so no, maximum notified the concept is over. It was only in 4 places: gratuity, leave encashment, VRS, and retrenchment. Second is on the basis of where is your house located. On the basis of location of your house, your exemption is going to change. According to income tax makers, the lawmakers, they believe that whenever your house is in big cities, metro cities, Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, Kolkata, if your house is in big cities, so you will have more expenditure for rental purposes, and thus the calculation is going to be 50% of its salary. However, is it possible that your house is in other place? So you realize that at other place the expense will be lower, so the exemption also will be lower. So if your house is in Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, Kolkata, 50% of your salary. And if your house is in other places, then 40% of your salary is going to be your second limit. Every time in any calculation of tax exemption of allowance, we take the word salary, we have to always define it by making a note. What are the 2 things that we are going to write in this note? Period and components. Which lost fantasy world are you guys in? Period and components. Period matlab salary of what period? And components matlab in this salary, what are the things that we are going to take? Correct again? So we will write that by way of note 1. But are you understanding the second thing in the calculation? 50% of salary if your house is in Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, Kolkata, and 40% of your salary if your house is in other places. Is this clear? Hello? Observe the following things. 1. Salary we will define by making the note. Second, answer this question. We have till now studied in HRA how many limits? 2 ke 3? 2 only, because I hope you understand 50 and 40 are not separate things, only one of them will apply. So first one is actual and second one is 50 or 40. Till now only 2 limits. And third, and the most important thing that you have to be careful about, because you will be tested on this in your exam. There is a city called Mumbai. Mumbai mein, if you have the house, so we apply for 50%. But then in the outskirts of Mumbai, there are other cities. There is a city called Thane, which is not in Mumbai. There is a city called Navi Mumbai, which is not in Mumbai. There is a city called Kalyan Dombivli. There is a city called Mira Bhayandar. These are a part of the Mumbai metropolitan region, but they are not Mumbai. The moment you cross the check naka, the border, you are outside Mumbai. But then are you aware that people have daily up down from these places to Mumbai? It is possible that you are employed in an area called Churchgate in Mumbai and you are traveling from Thane every day or Virar every day and you're paying rent of house in Virar. Your employer is giving you HRA in Mumbai because office is in Mumbai. Office is in Mumbai. So employer is giving you HRA in Mumbai. So we will apply. What percent? Nah, 40%. Why? Because we have to see place of house. Place of house. Let me specify. Place of work is irrelevant. Of course, if question does not mention place of work separately, then place of home is only going to become place of work. But if it is given, we will ignore place of work. We will take place of house because it will depend on place of house. It is also possible. See, this was an example for Mumbai. There is a city called Delhi. Delhi made is 50%. But then there is, just like Mumbai metropolitan region, there is a national capital region NCR, where there are nearby cities like Gurgaon, Faridabad, Ghaziabad, Noida, Greater Noida, and again people do daily up down from these places to Delhi. In fact, just like Mumbai local train goes to Thane, Virar, Navi Mumbai, Delhi metro goes to these places. So it is possible that house is in Noida but office is in Delhi. So 50 ke 40. 40. But house is in Delhi and office is in Noida. So house is in Delhi, we will apply 50. We are interested in the place of house. We are not interested in the place of office. Of course, इसके लिए तो I am telling you that you have to be careful. Where, देखो, the rule is simple. Where are you spending for rent? Based on where you are paying your rent. What is the logic behind this exemption? You are getting money in the form of HRA and it is going away in the form of rental expenditure. So where is that money being spent? That place will decide 50 or 40. So place of house. Is that clear? And third and the last thing, we will give you tax exemption only if the rent that you are paying exceeds 10% of your salary. Only if the rent exceeds 10% of salary. Salary will be same as what we will take in note 1. Note 1 mein we are defining salary. So supposingly my salary is 1 lakh per month. Hear me out. So they are interested in giving me tax exemption only if my rent is more than 10,000. Understand? More than 10% of my salary. Because that will put a massive burden on me. If I am paying rent of less than 10% of my salary, it's a very small amount. I can bear that without any exemption. But the moment I pay more than 10% of my salary, I will get an exemption and this will become my third limit. Acha, is it possible that rent paid is lower than 10% of salary? That means this amount will come negative. And negative matlab there will be no exemption. Obviously there can't be. You can't give negative exemption and increase the taxable amount. We have to choose whichever is lowest. If the lowest is coming negative, so we will not give any exemption and the amount received will be fully taxable. Matlab my salary is 1 lakh and rent is only 8,000. Lower than 10%. हाँ तो ये 8,000 and this is 10,000 no, because my salary is 1 lakh. Rent paid minus 10% of salary. They are trying to say what? Only if your rent exceeds this amount, we will give you exemption. मेरी salary is how much? Assume कर 1 lakh. हाँ, rent paid minus 10% of salary. My salary is 1 lakh. 10% is 10,000. If I pay rent of more than 10,000, I will get exemption. But if I pay less than 10,000, it's a negative amount. I will not get any exemption. Negative का exemption नहीं होगा. You make it 0. And नहीं तो automatically exemption is whichever is lowest. So supposingly the difference is very less, so we want to give you exemption only of that difference. And if your rent paid is lower than 10%, so we don't want to give you any exemption. इसलिए they have made it your third limit. So first limit is actual receipt. Second will be 50 or 40 based on place of house, and third will be rent paid minus 10% of salary. Out of the three, whichever is lowest is going to become your exemption. Obviously, we will be able to complete this only and only after we make our note. Note 1 mein we will be defining salary. Every time we take salary in any calculation, we will need two things, period and components. I am taking the components first because here the components are very, very easy. and I don't have much explanation about it. We have had large discussion on these components before. When no other law is not when no other any other law is not applicable, so income tax always keeps it simple. What do they do? They take basic salary plus which DA in terms, and plus fixed percentage commission on turnover. Wherever other law was applicable, the calculation was taken from that law. But the moment no other law is applicable, income tax keeps this. Constantly, income tax has kept this. Only there will be one place in perquisites where they have changed this. Otherwise, everywhere, wherever it is under income tax control, they have kept this only. Is clear? And period, which is slightly complicated because till now in all the calculations, period for options that we have seen, it was last drawn, yeah, average salary of last 10 months, something like this was given. But here they have kept it slightly complicated. It's not very difficult unless you are distracted. So focus what they are saying. Focus on what they are saying. That place, sorry, that period, not place, that period for which house was taken on rent on due basis, ignoring any advance or arrears of sale, is the definition of period. That period for which house was taken on rent on due basis, ignoring any advance or arrears. Let us understand what they are trying to say. You are receiving HRA. What are you doing with the HRA money? Paying rent. You have paid rent of what period? That period ka salary you take. Supposingly you pay rent full year. So this is full year ka rent. Then take salary of full year, and obviously full year we will take basic DA in terms and percentage commission. What to take, we are clear. We are just focusing on the period. But is it possible that you stayed in a rented house only for 6 months? So you will take salary also. Salary mein basic DA in terms and percentage commission of those 6 months. 6 months nahi, those 6 months. Matlab, if I have stayed with my parents April to September and in a rented house October to March, so rent is of October to March. So salary also October to March for point B and point C. Is it possible? Weird case. April I stay with parents, May rented house. June parents, July rented house. August parents, September rented house. Alternate months. So full year ka 6 months I have stayed with parents and 6 months rented house. So rent will be of 6 months. Salary will be of not any 6 months, those alternate 6 months in which my house was taken on rent. Exactly those months. Samjha? And coming back to the beginning of this explanation, if I have paid rent for the full year, so I will take salary of how much time? Full year. Correct? Now last question. So you've understood till here that period for which house was taken on rent on due basis. This much you've understood. Last. Supposingly, my basic salary of the current year is 10 lakh. And I have received next year ka salary in advance rupees 2 lakh. Let me ask my question. Basic salary current year is 10 lakh. Next year ka advance is 2 lakh. This 2 lakh advance that you have received, will you take it in current year's taxable income from salary? Answer this question. Will you take it in current year ka taxable income from salary? Yes. Because due or received, whichever is earlier. So will it come in income from salary? Yes. It won't come in this calculation. Because this calculation will take the rent period ka due salary. Next year, I will get basic salary only 8 lakh. Why? Because next year ka advance I have received. Taxable salary will also be 8 lakh because 2 lakh I have already paid tax in year 1. But for HRA, if I pay rent of the full year, I will take salary 10 lakh because I have to take due basis. With income from salary is due or received, whichever is earlier. But for this calculation, we will take due basis. That also which period ka due? That period for which I have paid rent will be exactly the same period, jiska salary I will take. Understood? That period for which house was taken on rent, ignoring any advance or arrears. One more clarification, because some people gave the wrong answer. Is advance salary included in taxable salary? Yes, it won't be included in this calculation of HRA ka exemption. ये clear हुआ? So that was your note 1, with which that way calculation part is over. But there is one thing probably which you have not observed, noticed or thought about. I will bring the problem, then I will only give the solution. If the following have changed during the year. Think about the possibility first. Is it possible that during the year your salary has changed? कि नहीं sir, salary का increment comes on 1st April irrespective. Possible. Is it possible that your HRA received during the year has changed? You make your employer understand that, sir, housing has become expensive, give more HRA. Is it possible that your house has changed? The place of house has changed during the year. Place of house will directly change your calculation 40 to 50, 50 to 40. And is it possible that the rent that you are paying to your employer has changed, undergone change during the year? Correct? Now understand, if these things change, my calculation will change. Supposingly April I was living in Mumbai, but October I shifted to Thane. So April ka calculation and October ka calculation will be different. Supposingly April ka salary is different and May ka salary is different, so that way also calculation will change. Even if rent is same, place is same. HRA received, actual amount changes, so automatically it will change my calculation. Means the moment any of these changes, my calculation will undergo change. If the following change during the year, so you will have to do monthly calculation. You will have to segregate, separate that month. Means you will take April ka HRA, April ka 50% or 40% of salary based on April ka place, April ka rent paid minus April ka 10% of salary. And like this you will have to make 12 calculations. And if there is no change, then what can you do? Then you can do annual calculation. If there is no change, you can go for annual calculation. So full year HRA was same, so take full year ka HRA per month into 12. Full year ka place of house was same, so 50 or 40 only one thing will apply. Full year ka salary is unchanged, so that salary ka 50 or 40 is also same. Full year ka rent has remained same, and again full year ka 10% of salary has remained same. So you can take everything into 12 into 12. But the moment any month there is any change, that month you will have to separate. And during the month if there is change, so 15 days ka 50% of salary and 40% of salary also has to be changed. Thankfully, till date the toughest question that ICAI has asked on this concept is where monthly basis pe things have changed, but they have never made it so complicated that within the month something has changed. So the toughest possible question here is also where different months, different calculation. Same month ka different calculation they have still never asked. Understood? But we can, of course, real life mein we can do everything proportional, obviously.
So if it changes during the month, sometimes it can be 12, 18 or 15.
It can be anything. Your salary ka increment will generally be first, but rent also may be first. HRA may be received first, but house you can change on any date. So that also, if you are moving from 50 to 40, abhi Mumbai mein from one place to other place you are moving, so that is not going to affect 50 or 40. But then rent amount will change. Divide by total days in the month into this period ka days and that period ka days. But then they never ask such a complicated question. Okay. Maximum that they ask is you have to do 12 calculations of 12 different months. Ye samjha? That was your HRA ka exemption. We have a very big calculation, but I am assuming that early in the morning when we are at the beginning of class, we have fresh brains. I'm falsely assuming this ke aisa hota. So preferably we learn some theory, and so that when we are near, towards the later part of the lecture, we solve HRA ka question. But yes, calculation you should remember. actual 50 or 40 of salary based on house ka place and rent paid minus 10% of salary. Salary will be taken on due basis of that period for which you are paying rent and three components which income tax always takes. Kyunki this, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the last allowance ka exemption. Hush. Finally, I don't know whether you remember 10, 15, 10, 16, 10, 17, 18, 19, all that we have completed in exempt income chapter. So allowances mein last, where they are giving you other exemptions. Finally, we will move to perquisites. Today is what day? Thursday. I know for you all days are same these days. Pata nahi sir, mornings are coming, evenings are happening. But today is Thursday. So perquisites will start. We have lecture on Friday and Saturday. So, but then merged lecture mein वैसे भी productivity is on the lower side. So we don't know whether we will be able to complete salary ka chapter before the Diwali break. But I think for that you are so efficient that you will actually agree to come. Sir, ठीक है Sunday लेके खत्म कर दो. You're such nice people. नहीं 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 sir. If we can remember things after 4 months, so we can certainly remember things after 4 days. Morning में I am myself not available. Afternoon चलेगा? नहीं. He has spoken first time in his life. First time. Has he ever spoken before? आज तक कभी sound भी सुना? No. But he said no sir. चलो ठीक है. First Sunday छुट्टी है. Since your batch has started. Very good. चलिए ठीक है. In any case, I have no such plans. हाँ, your employer is giving you some past का salary. हाँ. Other exemptions. मतलब these are not calculation based exemptions that you don't have to do A, B, C, whichever is best. Simple exemptions they have given by dividing these exemptions into two categories. First, where the exemption will be equal to the amount that you have spent for official purposes. Second category we will discuss later, but understand the category first. Your boss is giving you money. Is that allowance? From that money you have done some office related expenditure. First of all, understand any amount can be taxable for you as an employee only if the benefit accrues to or arises to you. The moment the benefit goes to your employer organization, it can never be taxable for. So boss gives you money. Take this money. From that money you spend for office. Whatever you spend for office, we can't take tax on that. But will there be some amount which you have retained in your pocket? That amount will be taxable. I will explain with the first allowance as an example. Tour, travel, transfer allowance. Your boss is giving you 2 lakh rupees to go on an official tour. Be mentally prepared. One fine day you will enter your articleship ka phase. So employers are going to give you money to go on outstation audits, etc. 2 lakh rupees given. Because listen, if they have to send you on an outstation audit, so that ticket ka, travel ka, all that, they will have to pay. So they supposedly are sending you from Mumbai to Ahmedabad, they will give you whatever train or flight ka ticket. Over there, hotel ka stay, food, local travel, from one place to other if you're traveling by auto or anything. Out of the total amount received 2 lakh, in that entire tour, you have spent 1,80,000. So 20 will be taxable because whatever is spent is the amount which is exempt. Now you observe how for exam perspective this becomes very, very easy. Question has given 2 lakh, question has given 1,80,000. You just need to know that this allowance falls in this list. You don't have to learn anything else. Amount received, amount spent, both given in the question. You just need to know the category. Category is whatever is spent will be subtracted. Anything that you pocket is going to be taxable. Next. Uniform allowance. See, some organizations, they have official uniform. If Tata Sky ka representatives come to your place, Videocon D2H, whichever D2H. So these days, the people don't use cable also. Everyone uses smart TV, Amazon Fire Stick. But if by chance any company representative, something as simple as that Samsung ka guy who has come to repair your washing machine, they have uniform. Coaching class का staff has got वही तो यूनिफॉर्म का ऐसा है ना ब्रो, that you have to first of all buy, and then once you buy you have washing, cleaning, drying, laundry, ironing expenses also. You can't be wearing the same clothes every day without washing. Jeans होता है ना, that you can wear at least for 3 months without washing, and the dirtier it is, the more comfortable it is. But ये fact है. But formals, the moment you wear and you remove, so you have to put them for washing. You can't reuse them even for the next day. Correct है? So will there be some expenditure on buying uniform, laundry of uniform? Simple है. Boss gave you 50,000. In that you spend 40,000 for buying uniform and laundry, ironing, cleaning. So 10,000 is taxable. Question is giving 50,000. Question is giving 40,000. You just need to know the law. What is the law? The amount spent will be the amount which is exempt. ये clear हुआ? Third, academic pursuit allowance. Your boss tells you, you are my most trustworthy guy. You are excellent when it comes to direct taxes. Why don't you take up indirect taxes as well? Well, sir, I am out of touch. I don't know indirect taxes. Okay, do one thing. Buy some video lectures, buy some books, become perfect in this subject, study properly so that we can start indirect tax as well. I have no plans of doing example. वैसे भी I am not an employee. Okay, so it is only an example. So can I say there will be some money that employer will pay to the employee for that academic pursuit, which will later on help the employer organization? You know, factory head and one of the most trusted employees of the factory, the boss is saying that जाके manufacturing के बारे में there is this new course, go and learn so that we can use this manufacturing का course as practically in our factory. So for that your employer is giving you 2 lakh rupees. In that 2 lakh, that course material, coaching, etc., 1,50,000 you have spent. So as remaining 50 will be taxable. Amount received minus amount spent is going to be amount taxable. More than the allowances, are you clear about the category? What is this category? Whatever is the amount spent for official purpose is going to be exempt. Next, helper allowance. Now say, is that allowance or perquisite? So perquisite, when we will discuss now, education facilities cover. In that training के बारे में we will discuss. We will discuss about training of employees over there. Right now we are talking about allowances. So your boss is giving you money. Right now we are discussing monetary things. Clear है? हाँ. And reimbursement का भी still there is going to be some discussion without sugar. काका without sugar है ना? Sorry. भूल गए? ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. अभी से without sugar नहीं, कोई बात नहीं. शाम को भी मेरा क्लास है, तो आप without sugar. So I will still discuss something about reimbursement when I start with perquisites very soon. Now only after 10-14 last year allowances. Okay, what is helper allowance? If your employer is giving you some very complicated but interesting project to work on, but he knows that you will need some assistance in this. Option 1, he is providing an assistant that make him do whatever you want, but that's a perquisite. Another option is that he is giving you money, because I'll give you money, you hire assistant of your choice. So boss gives you say 5 lakh rupees. You get an assistant at 35,000 per month. 35,000 per month means annually you paid what? 4 lakh 20? 80,000 taxable. Why? Because this helper you are keeping for office work. So that's not your benefit. Your benefit is whatever you have retained in your pocket. Understood? And last, CA students, you are very close to commencement of your articleship, And once you commence your articleship and start working in a CA firm, if you're already working in a CA firm, this is of immense importance for you. Something called conveyance allowance. Conveyance that way means travel. And CA firm, it's a very, very big thing, because irrespective of the place of your firm, you have to go and work at client place, especially if you are in the audit. Taking which category of firm, big four or mid size or small firm, is a personal choice. I am against very big firms. You can have a discussion separately with me for half an hour, 45, 1 hour, 2 hours. I can make you understand that big firms are not good for you, because they will not give you correct exposure to the areas that you want, and they will hamper your CA final custody. Short way, but in detail I can explain for 2 hours also. And in that firm, which field to choose, audit or tax, that is also your choice. Tax ka major work will be office work, because everything happens online. Income tax department is so fully faceless. Even notices ka response, even assessments also, appeals also, everything has become faceless. All this will come in your final CA. Income tax law has become completely faceless. But audit mein, you have to go to the client place and examine books of accounts and make reports. So you will be traveling from office to client place. For that, your boss will give you money. That is called conveyance. End of the month, you give a record that, sir, following are my expenses during the month. There is an office document called voucher. You have to prepare a voucher of your expenses during the month, that I have traveled on these dates, these places. In our office, when I used to do articleship, we had that book. We used to call it Jhol book, because we used to put, it was basically first hand knowledge of how to scam people. So for example, my college was very particular about attendance. So till 10 o'clock I was in college, and then thereafter going to a place called Sakinaka. I had never heard that name. Going to a place called Ghodbandar, I had never heard that name before in life. But after 10 o'clock, if I reach, first take a train to maybe Andheri or Thane based on place. Then from that railway station, take a bus to the client place. And buses had, half an hour ka queue, long queue. So my boss used to tell me that you are already late. Don't wait for the bus. Take an auto rickshaw. I'll pay for it. Going to the client place and doing a fast and doing more productive work is more important. We can afford rickshaw. No problem. I used to take rickshaw. And rickshaw mein, there were no bills. It was cash. And there was no UPI also. Pure cash. Okay. So whatever was the rickshaw ka cost, uske andar we used to add chai, pani, AG Mangal. मेरा वो वाला रील नहीं देखा? वो 25 करोड़ पीपल हैव वॉच्ड. कितने वेले लोग हैं हमारे कंट्री में. हाँ, वो रक्षाबंधन गलती से मैंने in front of family members. It was intentional. We had decided that we are recording it. And I thought कि हाँ, मैं इतना पागल नहीं है कि ऐसे correct it. But I had no idea that people in our country are so jobless that they are actually going to make such kind of thing viral. I'm ashamed of it. And वो 10-20 rupees तो वो setting we used to do. Plus best part was evening में return का time. Return के time पे there was not much crowd, because returning का everyone का timing is different. So the moment we used to step out of client ka office building, there was bus stop right there. And buses were very frequent. So hop onto the bus. But voucher mein, if you don't do this during your articleship, you are doing injustice to your learning. Your boss will not like it. Then what have you learned from me? To learn it properly, please make sure you do this. We are talking about the tax exemption of the thing called conveyance. So again, there is going to be some amount that your employer will give you. From that you will spend something. By now you've understood that the amount received and amount spent both will be given to you in the question. Just one catch is there. The amount spent should be between office and your client place. Ye CA ka field hai na. We are from CA ka field, therefore I am saying client place. If it is Tata Sky, we can just say field work. You in CA firm call it a client. Other places you can simply say customer, anything. Because what I want you all to understand is, that if your employer is giving you conveyance to travel from home to office, नहीं, वो fully taxable. This travel is sending you on outstation assignments, tour पे, and this is locally if your employer is giving you money to come from home to office. मतलब if your boss is giving you, we had tier 2, tier 3 employees in our firms. The bosses used to tell them, I will give you this much salary, but I will give you train ka pass ka money. So that amount is taxable. Why? When you are going from office to client place, you are going for his work. So whatever you spent will be subtracted. But when you are coming from home to office, you are coming for yourself, bro. You are not doing a favor on anybody by coming to office. You are coming for your own livelihood. So anything received to travel between home and office is going to be taxable. And office to work, client place is going to be exempt to the extent of amount spent. I know you are ready with the doubt. Sir, directly traveling from home to client place.
Example, वो reimbursement होगा voucher वाला. Conveyance will be अगर पहले से महीने का दे रखा है आप उसको से खर्चा करो.
It can be given in two ways. One, boss is giving you 10,000. At the end of the month, you give the hisab that I have spent 8,920 rupees. Balance amount, either you give it back to him or you carry it forward.
Not taxable further.
Give it back हुआ तो we will learn tax treatment under perquisites of reimbursements. Okay?
And फिर तो conveyance भी दिखा सकते हैं, home का office वाला भी conveyance में दिखा.
हाँ.
कौन सही कर जाएगा कि कहाँ जाएगा?
नहीं, but then you might be asked for documentary evidence of actual travel. हाँ. See that how to manipulate. Oh, this is an endless sea, and that's the difference between a chartered accountant and a good chartered accountant. So you how to manipulate उसका तो ऐसा कर लो वैसा कर लो, bro. You really think that all types of tax planning and manipulation strategies I discussed with you in class? I am here to share my knowledge to the extent it will assist you to clear your intermediate exams. If I end up giving you all the tricks in the book, then how are you going to consider me relevant? वैसे भी एक तो Gen Z and ऊपर से सोबो, the relevance of teacher is already very little. Just के है ठीक है चला. So I can't give you all the tricks in the book. Just to let you know, sir, the full subject will cover 100% theory for exam and questions which we are practicing in class, so that you can, and all the doubts with respect to your CA intermediate exam. In case you tell me कि sir वो घर पे ना sir, there is one income tax का notice that has come. Can you draft a reply for that? Of course I can draft. And in fact, I will charge you lower than what I charge others, which means that I will. And in case of doubt, sir, कि ये admission में वो tax का planning और वो personal tax filing और वो सब obviously covered नहीं है, just in case there is any confusion. ऐसा तो नहीं you're thinking no कि sir class admission covers my family income tax return practice का work also. So obviously, how to plan and manipulate, it's a never ending thing. You as a chartered accountant have to identify loopholes, which is possible if you understand the law in and out 360 degrees with the logic, with the concept. Then only you can exploit the loopholes. But is this clear? What is the law? Between home and client, between home and office, fully taxable, office and client place, exempt, and those who get directly, supposedly I am going from home to client place only, office I don't have a work on. Audit department people, they for months and months they don't go to office. So that home to client place will also be considered as office to client place only, because main thing is you are traveling to client place. Is that clear? Okay. And right side mein, the exemption, it's a different category altogether. Here the exemption will be equal to the amount that has been specifically mentioned, notified in income tax rules. Means here, let me begin by telling you, you have to ignore the actual expenses that you have incurred. Your boss is giving you this allowance. This allowance you have spent, you have not spent, how much you have spent is irrelevant. They have decided fixed amounts as exempt. And whatever is the amount decided by them is exempt whether you spend or you don't spend, or how much you spend. Means on the left side, you just need to know the names, because they will give you amount received and amount spent. On the right side, you need to know two things. One, the names. Two, the amounts decided by. Are you following? So, let me take the first one here as an example so that you understand what is happening. If your employer is giving you something called tribal area allowance, you see how names of allowances are self-explanatory. Within the name, you can understand for what purpose is this being given to you. House rent allowance, tiffin allowance, transport allowance, travel allowance, conveyance allowance. Your boss can add the word allowance in front of anything and give you money. He can give you chashma allowance, he can give you roti allowance, kapda allowance, banyan allowance, chaddi allowance, anything he can give. He can add the word allowance, and with respect to that, he can give you money for anything and everything. Here he is giving you money to work in a tribal area. How much can he give? Any amount? Exemption is going to be maximum 200 rupees per month. Your inner Amitabh sir must be, क्या कीजिएगा इतने रुपयों का? Maximum है. So supposingly your actual receive is 1000 per month, 800 taxable. How? 200 exempt. And your actual received is 100 per month. So fully exempt. Correct? Maximum है ना? Maximum itself means actual or 200, whichever is lower. The only confusion that ICAI can do for you here, the only trick that they can play with you is, they will tell you April to September received 100 rupees per month. So 600 wo. And October to March 1000 per month. So 6000. So full year ka received will be 6600. From that, if you subtract 200 into 12, it will be disastrous. In the months where you are receiving 100, you subtract 100. 100 minus 100, 100 minus 100, 100 minus 100 for 6 months. And the moment you start earning 1000, you will be 1000 minus 200, 1000 minus 200. If the amount changes, you have to change your calculation on a month-on-month basis, like we are going to do for HRA as well. Samjha? Tribal area allowance. Now, do you understand that if my boss is giving me tribal area allowance, I spend it, I don't spend it, how much I spend, expenses irrelevant. Fixed amount. So here you will have to learn the name of the allowance and the amount, 200 per month. Left side, you just have to learn the name. Right side, you have to learn the name as well as maximum limit. Clear hai? Second, children education allowance. You want to guess why is this being given? What are you thinking? What's your name? So Palak, why do you think your employer is giving you children education allowance? To train children in sports. So, to educate children. Take this money. No idea, matlab the name only explains it. Employer will give anything and everything if he wants to retain good quality employees. Employer will give you once in a week 2000 rupees per month. 2000 once in a week 2000 rupees, not per month. Every week 2000. Take this money. Take Babri for a movie. Employer will pay money to Padmavati Bhojanalaya. You know all these. If you don't know these things, you need counseling. Employer will give you money for anything and everything to keep you happy so that you are motivated to work harder for his organization. So this time he is giving you money for children education. How much he can give? Any amount. Exemption will be maximum 100 rupees per month. Maximum means actual or 100, whichever is lower. But that is of course per child. And the moment exemption is per child, you know what Vishwaraj will do to get more exemption. हाँ तो अभी 100 rupees is per child to get more exemption by having maximum 2 children.
The real का नहीं है.
Nah, maximum 2 children.
Why so less? अरे exemption बढ़ा दो.
वो I'll come to later. First understand this exemption. First understand the exemption. Law and logic both. If first of all, Vishwaraj, true or false, you can have only 2 children. How many you can have? Infinite. Very good. Revealing future plans now. But exemption. Acha, ek minute. Educate only 2 of them.
So,
Remaining you make bonded labor, child labor. Educate all of them. Boss can give you money only for 2. He can give for all. Then what is the limit of 2? Exemption will be given only for 2 children. Correct है? Supposingly your boss is giving you first child के लिए and second child के लिए 1000 and 1000. तो 1000 में से 100 exempt, 900 exempt. Supposingly first child का giving 1000 and second child का is giving 80 rupees per month. So 1080 is monthly received. But exemption won't be 200. Exemption will be from 1100 and from 80 full. You have to do it child by child. Is that clear? Hello?
also one.
Huh? Child by child, month by month. And it is not compulsory that you take exemption of first 2 children. Supposingly boss is giving you 40 rupees for first child, 80 rupees for second child and 120 for the third child. So it is better to take exemption of the second and third child. You can take any 2 children. Because when I explained that 2 children ka logic in HRA, one of the students of the evening batch came and asked that supposingly I have 2 children. Will I get exemption? HRA ne leave travel allowance. Will I get exemption? Yes. Then he said, sir, supposingly one of them dies. And then because I want children, so I have one more child. So now will that be counted? So I said that it was never a rule that it has to be first 2. It even don't kill your child unnecessarily. Even when your child is alive and you have the third child, you can take exemption of any 2. So don't unnecessarily kill. Even in example, why are you killing your own child? First confirm, was it your own child? What stupid things you are saying? So any 2 children ka you can take. We will obviously take the highest. No. Samjha na? Now then, final question, sir, why this exemption is so less? This limit was laid down in the year 1994. You were there? I was there. Obviously I was there. 1994 was kitna ago? 32 years. So you think I am younger than 32? Really? Thank you for making my day. Slightly older than that. 40? नहीं, इतना भी नहीं है, पागल है क्या? इधर गैस गेम नहीं चल रहा है. Okay. हाँ. 15 years I have completed in August. पढ़ाने में. 22 के एज में I became a CA and 15 years से I am teaching. वही कर लिया. 23 में I became, but पढ़ाना 1 साल पहले चालू. हो गया? Maths workout done with my life. Now focus on this. 1994 में these limits were changed. 1994 is correct. Now the question is, sir, why are you not amending these limits as per the latest thing? So no, take this in writing from me. It won't get changed. They actually want to remove these exemptions, but just that they are not removing. Take it or leave it. In fact, there is a new tax regime where some tax exemptions are not going to be allowed at all. 1014 not allowed. Leave travel allowance 10.5 not allowed. HRA 1013A not allowed. Means whatever is received will be fully taxable. They want to remove all this altogether. Completely remove. नहीं, new tax regime. अरे old rates, new rates दो है ना. So old regime में take exemption deduction and pay tax as per higher rate, and new regime में don't take these exemptions. Now there are many deductions and exemptions which are not allowed in the new regime. See if you have heard these things. SEZ का deduction not allowed. MP MLA allowance 1017 not allowed. SOP का interest not allowed. SOP का interest new regime में not allowed. Salary में से entertainment allowance and professional tax का deduction not allowed. Only standard deduction will be given and that is higher. When I say these things, you are like, correct. Wait. Salary mein leave, travel allowance, HRA 10, 14 not allowed. You are like, yes, yes. Because we have studied that. But now if I tell you, scientific research ka deduction in PGBP, not allowed. Additional depreciation in PGBP, not allowed. 35 AD in PGBP, not allowed. Chapter 6 ka full chapter, not allowed. So you won't understand. Your life insurance, medical insurance, all that, not allowed. Then you pay tax as per the new regime. New regime is a modern day scam. To save 2,32,500 rupees of tax. Write this number somewhere, one day I will prove it. To save 2,32,500 rupees in tax, you are going to forego tax benefits, but lakhs, nahi, sometimes crores. Because special economic zone, specified business, scientific research, those things in PGBP can go up to crores. Understood? The new regime, this exemption is also not allowed. You are talking about increasing, they want to remove this, and new regime they have removed already. There is not going to be any increase. Now, I know your reaction is, sir, 100 rupees per month. Mere se lena, sir. I am from Sobo. Bro, point is not 100 is less or more. Point is 100 is the exemption, and you have to subtract that 100 to get your correct income from salary so that your entity and tax is correct. And for that, you need to know maximum 100. Actual or 100, whichever is lower, you can take for any two children this exemption. Preferably, we will take the highest two, not necessarily first two. Abhi bol. One day when we will go and learn tax rates. So first I will teach you old regime ka rates by taking all these exemptions and deductions that I have taught you. Then and when I go to new rates, I'll tell you these are the rate changes. But if you take these rates in our entire syllabus, whatever exemptions and deductions we have studied, abhi today I will tell you about PGBP ka additional depreciation, scientific research, you will not understand. You will understand only the ones which we have completed. So why every section discuss old regime, new regime, old regime, new regime, except standard deduction of salary? Because there were two amounts and I had to tell you both. That is why I had to tell you. Otherwise, nowhere I have discussed old regime, new regime. Not in SEZ, not in MPMLA allowance, not in SOP ka interest, nowhere. One day we will discuss all of them together when we studied the new taxation regime. Correct? Children hostel allowance. Palak, beta aap batao. Why is this being paid to employees? So that children can go to hostel. An employee can focus on work. Vishwaraj hoga to he will focus on, but normal employees focus on work. So here the exemption is maximum 300 rupees per month per child. And of course, to control Vishwaraj, maximum 2 children. Yeah, correct? Hai? Everything else is same. 100 has become 300. All other explanation, actual or 300, whichever is lower. If there is any change, supposingly earlier you are getting 200, later it becomes 500. So 200 wale one month mein you take exemption of 200, and in the 500 month you take exemption of 300. Everything else is same. Every doubt is genuine only. Auntie has gone mad. She was. You want me to say it on record in the recording? Auntie is not mad. Auntie is eligible for deduction under section 80U. Auntie is eligible for deduction under section 80. You all know 80U? Assessee is, and in fact she is eligible for 80U deduction of 1,25,000. Because 80U mein there are two deductions. I will explain. Anybody who has normal disability will get 75,000 deduction. But anybody who is severely disabled, 120. So next time you have a fight with someone, don't be abusive. Don't scream. Don't raise your volume. You just say, "Yaar, kya bro, you are fighting with me. Come here." Put your arm around that person ka shoulder whom you want to fight with. Bro, you are fighting with me. But then I still care for you. I give you free tax advice. Take it to you 1,25,000. Don't fight. Don't abuse. Don't raise your volume. Just say, hey, to you. And best part is, you have abused. You have satisfied yourself. That person did not even understand. Win-win. Samjha? He is asking me, auntie has gone mad. Unfortunately, for being respectful, I have to say our honorable, respected finance minister. I am saying it on live. Pagal aurat hai. Recording is on. Recording is on. I did not pause it. Happy? Auntie has gone mad. Chapter 6 is removed. But in new regime. So now we can't call her mad. Because she is like, you don't like that removal, pay tax as per old regime. Option is yours, no? So she is mad, but she does not want us to call her. So she has kept both options. So you can't blame her for anything. If by chance you move to the new regime, that 12 lakh which WhatsApp University is forwarding, somewhere it will come in the new regime. But it is you who has now waived to take your deductions. Samjha? Next. Here we have to learn the names as well as amounts. Everyone is with me? If you are getting something called transport allowance, that way allowances are funny to a certain extent in the sense that you can change the name and tax treatment will get changed. Supposingly your boss is giving you 5,000 rupees. Now he is ready to do that outflow from his pocket. You are getting this money. What to call it? It's your choice, no? You understand? If he calls it any of this, so it will become on the basis of expenditure. But if he calls any of this, so it will become on the basis of amounts given. Ultimately, money does not have name written on it. So boss can give you money like that only. Then finally, whichever is tax-wise most beneficial, you can take that. So if your boss is giving you conveyance, it will depend on expenditure. But same thing, conveyance is same as transport. But the moment you change the name, tax treatment will get changed. If it's transport allowance, the exemption is maximum 3,200 rupees per month. But that also only and only if the employee is disabled or handicapped. Means normal employees have only one choice, conveyance allowance. That also between office and client. But disabled handicapped employee, first of all listen, if it is between home and office, you take by calling it transport only, because conveyance mein there is no exemption. And if it is between office and client place, then nahi, check expense. If expense is less than 3,200, then call it transport. And if expense is more than 3,200, then call it conveyance. Check and modify the name of the allowance on the basis of the expenditure incurred. Are you understanding the trick that we are incorporating here? See, understand. Non-disabled ke liye there is only one option, conveyance. Now focus on disabled. Everyone is with me? Disabled, between home and office, only one option, transport, because conveyance is not allowed. But disabled between office and client place is spoiled for choice based on expense. Expense more than 3,200 so conveyance. More than 3,200 expense, conveyance. And expense less than 3,200 transport allowance, because still you will get this exemption. Understood? And last, daily allowance of transport employees means employees which are working in transport industry, meaning thereby the employer is a transporter. Employer is in transport business. So basically the employee is the truck driver and the cleaner we are talking about. Transporters are the backbone of the domestic economy. Transporter on okay please, I तुझा आशीर्वाद बुरी नजर वाले तेरा मुकाला मेरा भारत महान. Bro, truck drivers का truck के पीछे the social messages that they are given, they are life lessons. Life lessons. One day I actually stopped a tempo driver and I told you, let me click a picture of what is written behind your tempo. Life lesson. I can't use that word in class. Those interested, camera picture. I will not even speak. I will just open my gallery and show you the picture after class. Life lessons. I said, wait, but just that word can't be used in class. They are the backbone of the domestic farm. Your wheat, rice, etc. that you eat does not grow in your backyard. It is grown in some farm. Your fruits, vegetables, milk, etc. is grown somewhere and transported to the local shops by them. So what they have to do is, as an employer, you have to give your truck driver monthly, say 10, 15, 20, 30, 40,000, whatever allowance. Please understand. You have given your driver some allowance. Why? Because the driver is traveling across the country for days and days. At various places, he will be stopped and he will have to keep that government officer happy. Also, not just that, if the driver is away from home throughout the year, regularly what they have those dedicated dhabas of truck driver where they park their trucks and eat food. But if they don't want to eat outside food, they buy vegetables, they have stove, kerosene, everything. They park their truck, cook food, along with food they take their dose. And the best part is that the employers also encourage that dose, because then the truck moves automatically without any effort. After one fine day, the truck reaches the destination. Even the driver does not realize, "Arey, aa gaya." Employers encourage that. I'm not joking. ठोक दिया तो ठोक दिया, to hell with it. Who cares? Every morning there are newspaper reports of accidents. People forget in some. समझा? मित्रों, the point is that the money so received by these drivers in the form of allowances will be spent for their day-to-day work. So we want to give you some tax benefit. 70% of the amount received or rupees 10,000 per month, whichever is lower. 70% of the amount received or rupees 10,000 per month, whichever is lower. So supposingly your boss is giving you 1 lakh per month. How much exempt? 10,000. 50,000 per month? 10,000. Your boss is giving you 15,000 per month. कैसे? 15,000. 70 करा नहीं. What is 70% to? 10,500 or 10,000, whichever is lower. But if your boss is giving you 10,000 per month, the exemption will be 7,000. Understood? 70% of amount received. 70% no? 70% of amount received or 10,000 per month, whichever is lower, will be your exempt. This, ladies and gentlemen, is your last and final allowance, that is 10-14 ka exemption, where 10-14 is not one single allowance. 10-14 is divided into multiple allowances, two categories. The left side wala category is where the exemption will depend on how much you have spent, where amount received and amount spent both will be given to you in the question. You just need to learn the names. But the right side category is the fixed amounts exemption, where first of all the actual expenses are going to be irrelevant, and thus here you will have to learn two things: one, the names of these allowances, and two, how much is the amount which is decided as exempt. Names as well as amounts. Everyone is clear? With this we get done with the first part of the chapter. Remember, chapter was divided in two parts. Kya? Allowances and disallowances. Allowances and perquisites. We now have a small summary of allowances. We started learning allowances as early as 10.5, leave travel allowance, where we came to know about Vishwaraj ka talent. From 10.5 we moved to gratuity, pension, leave encashment, right up to as late as HRA. We did some complicated calculations. Correct? Hello? We also studied 10-14. But the question is, have we studied all allowances? Did I tell you that your boss can add the word allowance in front of anything and give you money? Tiffin allowance, servant allowance, AC allowance, car allowance, bike allowance, roti, kapda, makan, chaddi, banyan allowance. Have we studied exemptions for these things? No. That means we have a very good lesson here that we don't have exemption for all allowances. Exemptions are given for selected allowances which we have studied. Any allowance which we have not studied under exemption means that allowance is fully taxable. If there is no exemption given, studied or taught, it simply means that that allowance is fully taxable. So there are so many allowances which are fully taxable. For example, have we studied anywhere tiffin allowance? No. For example, have we studied anywhere car allowance? Have we studied any exemption on if your boss is giving you bonus, if your boss is giving you project allowance? Question is simple. Have I taught you any exemption? If I have not taught you any exemption, matlab this allowance is going to be fully taxable, because only selected allowances may we have been given some amount as exempt. Some allowances have exemption, where we learnt two types of exemptions. One, we had long calculation based exemptions from 10(5) leave travel allowance to 10(13) house rent allowance. And then we had a general category 10(14) which was divided into two parts, expenditure based and amount based. Correct? But anything that we have not studied from 10(5) to 10(14) means that allowance is fully taxable. Because we have studied only this much in exemptions. That means everything else, ladies and gentlemen, is fully taxable. Do you understand this? But I still want to have some more discussion about fully taxable. You see, I have written 4 points under fully taxable. These are allowances where the names are self-explanatory. Have I taught you any exemption here? If there is no exemption taught, matlab. So one thing can I tell you, that after today, if you come across any unheard name where I have not taught you any exemption, I just told you roti, kapda, makan allowance. That means it is fully taxable. List is endless. Have I taught you any exemption on servant allowance? If the name is not heard before, what do you mean? That means servant allowance is fully taxable. Correct hai? Why am I telling you this? Sir, that way to anything we have not studied. No. We have in 10(14) something called helper allowance. Do we have some exemption there? Check. How much is the exemption? Here, to the extent of amount spent. And how much is the exemption? Here, nothing. It is fully taxable. Helper and servant apparently appear to be the same thing. Still, there is a difference in tax treatment, because they have logic. They say helper you will keep for doing office related work. Servant you will keep at home. So for servant, if your boss is giving anything, it's your personal benefit, it is taxable. But for helper, it is office related work. So whatever you spend will be exempt. Anything kept in pocket is only taxable. But then can we do manipulation here? So if you want to know tax planning strategies, your boss is giving you for personal servant at home, but then call it helper allowance and take exempt to the amount spent. Do this manipulation. You are chartered accountants. You have to learn all this. You understand? Let me have some more discussion. If your employer is giving you something called fixed monthly medical allowance, your boss is saying every month I will give you 5,000. You have cough, cold, fever, I will give you 5,000. Full month you had no problem, I will give you 5,000. You have cancer or thalassemia, I will give you 5,000. Irrespective of your actual expenditure, I will give you 5,000. That means this is going to be fully taxable. It is not dependent upon how much you spend. There is another way in which boss can give you medical help. Boss can tell you that whatever you spend, give me bills. I will give you actual expense ka reimbursement. Not as a fixed amount, but reimbursement. Tax treatment of reimbursement we will learn later under perquisites. In that there is some exemption given. If your boss is giving you monthly fix, so it is going to be fully taxable. But if your boss is giving you on the basis of expenditure, so under perquisite there is some exemption. Is that clear? We are Indians. Now you know what we do. Supposingly my brother, who was some time back a corporate employee, his boss told him that every year we will give you 3 lakh rupees on actual expenditure. If the boss gives monthly fixed 25,000 irrespective, so it is taxable. Boss has decided to give as per expenditure. So he wanted to do two things. One, extract that money from boss. And two, take tax benefit. So now he made an announcement at home that whatever medicines you call for anybody at home, get the bill in my name. So year end pay, he used to collect those bills, submit all those bills to the employer and extract money from the employer. And because it is reimbursement, there is some tax exemption. If you think that my brother has criminal mind, he is younger one, they generally have criminal mind. I have this one other cousin uncle who also was a corporate employee. He did not take bills in his name. He went and took a picture of the local medical shop and then went to a stationery shop and printed a bill book. And he used to make bills at home whenever required. One bill book and one rubber stamp. Gotcha. Thug life. Baby boomer wala thug. This thug life even millennials don't have. Forget Gen Z. This is baby boomer wala thug life. That way income tax has become very smart organization. I must tell you what happened. There was recent case. इसमें मैंने reel भी बनाया, very popular. That reel also became. There's Hyderabad based taxpayer who sold a property, and sale of property के सामने you are allowed to take cost of acquisition and cost of improvement. So he submitted bills to the income tax department. Income tax department used AI and forensic knowledge and said that the bills are fake. How? The bills were printed in Calibri font. Calibri font was discovered by Microsoft in 2006 and bills were dated 2002. Income tax said that give evidence. Where have you incurred this? He said, no, I found these bills in the will of my late father. I have got no record or data about it. I hereby withdraw my claim. So, cheating ka extent has possibly reduced. But then we are Indian chartered accountants. Sooner or later we will find out a way in this. Income tax department became completely faceless to avoid interaction between officer and assessee. We should not know who is our officer. It will be a computer whom we are talking to. We will never come to know who is the officer. So that there is less corruption. Squid Games dekha Netflix. The staff of that games wala company are covered with masks so that you don't become friends with them for cheating. Money Heist mein bhi tha. They were all masked. Squid Games. You know what? I have friends my age, matlab young chartered accountants, younger, who actually tell me that if someone wants to crack faceless, let me know. I will find out who is your officer. Then you can go and talk to him directly to be lenient in your assessment. Just imagine if you find out the person who is going to check your papers. Understood? Kya? Officers are searching for who is the assessor.
Not assessee, but who's the chartered accountant of this.
AO का कोई चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट नहीं होता है.
Assessee का ही chartered accountant
they'll contact. They will always contact the CA. CAs basically act as, sorry for the word, but they act as brokers in these cases. No. Officers never contacted assessees. Assessees used to tell their CAs to find out officer. And officer always used to tell the CA only that if your client wants a settlement, please come. Commissioner of Income Tax की office में I have sat and commissioner put a calculator in front of us and 10 दबा के he said this 10. भी क्या समझ में? 10,000 है कि 10 commissioner will not be 10,000. 10 lakh है, we can talk about it because case was a couple of crores. But 10, तो we have to answer क्या 10,000 है तो सर अब भी given को 10 lakh है तो 10 lakh is also too high. 1 crore की tax saving के लिए I can't give you bribe of 10 lakh. He got very angry. Don't come and bargain here. This is not Chor Bazaar. He got angry with the chartered accountant that why did you bring them here? I was a client at that time, not as a chartered accountant. I had as my family business का chartered accountant took us off some years ago. अभी तो faceless हो गया है ना, so we don't interact unless we want to find out who is our officer. But we are Indians, we will find out ways in anything. So I told you, one of my uncles printed the bill book. But end of the day, if it is fixed monthly amount, it will be taxable. So how you should sit with your employer and do the planning? Sir, you have to give me annually 3 lakh. Some months I will take 30, some months 20, some month 10, some month 50, and that much actual bill I will submit. End of the year, we will reach the total of 3 lakhs. So we can do some kind of manipulation. But the moment it is given as a fixed monthly amount, it is going to be fully taxable. One last name which you will give me. Fully taxable allowance. And of course, don't give me any random name like sir furniture allowance or washing machine allowance because all that is covered here. I am asking you about a name which we have studied. We have studied. Because if I tell you the name, you will start banging your own head on the tables. Like, how am I so dumb? How can I not know this? One allowance which is fully taxable. Last 10 seconds. कोई hint नहीं है. Hint is that if I give you the name, you will forget about banging your head. You will want to jump, and don't jump. This is first floor. Nothing will happen. बोलू. Fully taxable. The most important allowance, randomly pick up any question of income from salary. There cannot be a question without dearness allowance. Is there any exemption under dearness allowance? Have I taught you any exemption under dearness allowance? That means dearness allowance is fully lol. Ye click nahi hua. Now you are clear. Dearness allowance fully taxable because we have not been taught any exemption from DA. DA will be used for other calculations, but DA itself is fully taxable. Everyone is clear on this? Chalo. Now with this, allowances along with summary are over. We have just one pending question which we had to do on HRA ka exemption. So we will first let's go and complete that HRA ka question. Then we start perquisites after the break. Very, very complicated question. Please make sure that you focus not just on the solution but also manner of solving. Oh, short-term memory loss. I hope you have not forgotten. Actual 50 or 40 based on place of house and rent paid minus 10% of salary, whichever is lower. Question number 40, page number 66. See what twists this question brings to your life. Yes, please. Who is reading? Read, please.
From the following information submitted by Surana in respect of monthly salary and allowances, find out the house rent allowance chargeable to tax for the assessment year
Means during the year, Sunil ji has worked for two organizations, A Limited and B Limited. Period of employment is given up to August. He has worked for A Limited, and from October he has worked for. मतलब April, May, June, July, August, A Limited. September he was in the transition phase. He had no job. But October to March he has worked for B Limited. What other data is given to you?
Place of posting for A Limited is Agra, B Limited is Mumbai from 1st Jan 2026.
That means April to August he was posted in Agra. September he did not have any job, as we are aware. October, November, December he was posted in Mumbai, and Jan, Feb, March, while employer is same but posting is changing to Goa. Correct? We will use this data for which calculation? अरे HRA तो पूरा question only. When it is Agra, we will take, and when Mumbai, and when Goa, Popat. Place of house decides 50 or 40. नहीं सुनो. If by chance the question is silent till the end about place of house, then you can assume this also as the place of house. But suno, right now your answer will be, this is irrelevant. You have not read the question after this, I agree, but still right now it is irrelevant. Supposingly till end you don't get anything, then you can take this. You can't consider place of posting for 50% and 40%. Correct? Carry on.
Basic salary increased to 1,80,000 from 1st Feb 2026. For A Limited it was 60,000, B Limited 1,10,000.
मतलब understand the timeline. April to August when he worked for A Limited, his monthly salary was 60. October में he joined B Limited at 1,10,000. That is why he must have taken the switch. Correct? And then October, November, December, January tak his salary was 110, and due to his efficiency from February it became 1,80,000. So Feb and March ka salary is every time. See, January mein place changed, February mein salary changed. Every time there is a change, calculation of that month will be different. I hope you understand. Thereafter,
Rent allowance 30,000 and 50,000.
this is the HRA actually received from A Limited and B Limited. This is the first point in all our calculations. Then
Rent paid at Agra from 1st April 25 to 30 September 25 is 26,000.
matlab this was his place of house for the first 6 months. Ab you don't say, sir, September mein to he did not have job. Did not have job matlab he must have had some savings, no? With that saving he must have paid rent. You can't say, sir, job nahi to he sleep on footpath because in Agra there is no Salman Khan. Nahi na. You have the brain to understand. He will pay from his own pocket. But yes, so no. In September, no job. HRA received only is 0. So received 0, exempt 0, taxable also 0. But rent he must have paid from his own pocket. But from October, he started paying rent where? Mumbai. October, November, December, Jan, Feb tak. Matlab listen. April to August, house, office, both Agra. Office is relevant 40% based on house. October, November, December, ये focus करो. October, November, December. House is in Mumbai. Office also in Mumbai. Office is relevant 50%. Here comes the twist. Jan and Feb. Office is in Goa, but house is in Mumbai. Jan, matlab he is working in Goa, and family must be living in a rented house in. What a good life, bro. Just imagine you are in Goa all alone. Wow. I don't want to solve the question. I am jealous of this guy. January, February, May, what percentage you will apply? This is the twist, because house in Mumbai, office in Goa. House in Mumbai, office in Goa. You will take 50%. And then when his wife found out what he is doing during the months of Jan and Feb, she also came to Goa. Two things are possible. Either she will come and stop him or she will join him. Goa ka place only is such. Finally, office and home both Goa. What we will apply? 40. Means all this is irrelevant. This will decide 50 or 40. And at this full stop after 15,600, I know some people are thinking, sir, abhi kya nahi? What you have to do is long ago told. What do you have to do? Find out the amount of HRA which is chargeable to tax. Now here is the problem. In some of the months there is some change that has taken place. If you sit and start thinking about, sir, this ka kya karu, iska kya karu, everything that has changed, what do I do? So you will be confused. The only correct way or safe way of doing it is every month ka calculation should be separate. Now you can do like this: April HRA received minus exempt taxable. May, but then instead of wasting so much time in doing 12 calculations, there is another way in which you can do this. You will have a particulars column which is supposed to be a big column, because we have to write quite a few things in the particulars column. So no, formatters, wait, we have to make 13 amount columns. So 13 to 12 months hota hai. There will be one total column also. We will calculate every month separately. It is effectively we are doing 12 questions of HRA. So now when you are making 13 amount column, see, first understand. So we will have one amount column for big particulars, then one amount column for April, May, June, July. Now listen, I have a tab, so I can do this. You can't. ऐसा लिखते लिखते you don't come to the table. Every time I see a student writing on the table, I get very, very angry. Very angry. I dislike it. You should respect classroom property. It does not belong to me. But this is what gives us knowledge. You can't disrespect this property. What rubbish people write and go. Look, people write each other's name. That is unprofessional, insensible, bad manners. You are basically Sundarlal ka friend. You know, they came to Mumbai and वो contact number वो चद्दर पे लिख रहा था, and then Jetalal asked him, घर पे भी you write on the bed sheet? बोला हाँ. You not seen? हाँ. सुनो. So either you will use your book horizontally, landscape mode, or you will use a double side page, because 13 amount columns will not fit in obviously this much space. Okay? So we continue. We have July, August, September, October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March, and of course a total column.
Text में तो horizontal not allowed. Text में horizontal not allowed.
Who said? क्यों नहीं allowed? You are allowed. You can use two sides. You will put extra effort. You will waste more time. Okay. We are first given. Do you understand? There is some HRA which is actually received in all these months. Starting में he was receiving from A Limited 30,000 till the month of August. Correct? In September he did not have any job, so it was 0. And then from October to March, how much did B Limited pay? That's 56,000. So you understand. With this, I will be able to get what is the total received for the year. 56,000 into 6 and 30,000 into 5. हूँ नहीं करो क्या हूँ? Total received is how much? हूँ 4,86,000. However, from the amount so received, you will have to subtract the amount which is exempt under section 1013A, which we will calculate by making our working note 1. But do you realize, once I get the amount which is exempt month on month basis, automatically I will get the amount which is taxable. So every month I will find out the amount which is exempt, and automatically I will get the amount which is taxable. Now please understand that the working note that we are making, what is working note 1? Exemption under section 1013A. It is going to be list of 3 figures. Do you realize that when I already have made every month ka separate column, so I can actually make the working note also columnar wise. Kaise? First one is amount actually received, and I'll tell you what. For this, so I don't even need to see the question. Q, think about it. Actual received is what we have already written. So that 30,000 till the month of August. September, obviously it was September. We have decided long ago 0 minus 0 equal to 0. And from October it became 56,000. Correct or no? And a pagal, this column ka, this row ka, you don't write the total. So no, this total wala will get over here itself. If it was possible to calculate exemption in the total column, we are not dumb or foolish to solve 12 separate columns. I hope you are understanding. So actual received. What is the second limit in calculation of HRA exemption, please? What is the second limit? 50% of salary or 40% of salary. Yeah, correct hai? Now look at how smartly we have to play here. Oh, copycats, focus karo. April के month में, only April, where is my house? Only house, Agra. So answer is 50 or 40. So I will put a dash, so that I am mentally ready that once I know salary, I have to apply 40. In fact, do you understand that till August, in fact September also, it is Agra. Of course, September ka salary is only 0. So 40% of 0 will become 0. But for presentation purposes, if 40 is answer, therefore 50 ke against, we will put a dash. You understand? And the moment we go to October, our place is Mumbai. Answer will come against 50. So dash we will put against 40. You understand? Till which month? October, November, December. Jan se to Goa, no? No. Office is in Goa. House is still in Mumbai. So Jan and Feb also, we will keep space for 50 and dash against 40. And finally Goa mein, answer is against 40. So dash against 50. Once we know the salary, can we fill this? By the way, question has given us salary already. There is no DA in terms, there is no percentage commission. So we have the basic salary very clearly given to us. Starting May it was 60,000. And now I know that I have to apply 40%. So very easily I can get these amounts now. 40% of 60,000. 24 till the month of August. But September May it will be nothing. Q, because salary only was 0. October May it will become 50%. And that salary amount is also changing. Correct? Hai? So that will become 55,000 till the month of January. Why? Hey sir, February maybe it is 50, but this time salary is changing. So this time 50 will be on 180. So this will be 90. And last May it will be 40 of that 180. So that will be 72,000. Correct? Hai? This will become your second limit for HR. And finally, what is your third limit of HR? Rent paid minus 10% of salary. So only focus on April. See, if you do 1 month correctly, no, you'll understand the system. April ka salary is how much? Salary 60. And rent is how much? Rent he is paying. No, that question will give you. HRA nahi, rent 26. Now here you can go wrong if you make the mistake of thinking, sir, 60 is bigger, so 60 minus 26. No, we don't have to take 60. We have to take 10% of 60. 10% of 60 is 6. And from 26 we have to subtract that. Means rent paid 26 minus 10% of salary 60, that is 6,000. 26 minus 6. So what is your exemption of April? 20,000. What do? I write this 20,000. Observe the presentation, please, copycats. And 10,000 will come. You understand? Like this, you will do for May, June, July, August. You'll get the third limit. Obviously, choose whichever is lower. I am going and doing with you September. September mein what is the rent paid?
No, September.
September mein nothing. So September mein rent is there. रेंट है, रेंट का अमाउंट बताओ, रेंट का अमाउंट इज 26. I will write 26 here for presentation purposes. Please understand. Effectively, I know that exemption is going to be 0 because we have to choose whichever is lowest. No, focus on October. मतलब May, June, July, August you will complete by yourself on the basis of what we have done in April. I am taking you to October. October में it is 70,000 का rent and salary is 1,10,000. So we will have 70 minus 11. तो क्या?
1,10,000 minus 7, 10% of basic salary. Sorry, 1,00,000.
क्या कर रहे हैं bro?
Return आ गया आपका 59.
70,000 minus 11,000, 59. But 59 won't become your exemption. Exemption will be 55 and taxable will be 1,000. You understood? Everyone? Chalo, let's do for Jan. Jan का बोलो. What is the rent paid?
Rent paid is 7,000.
And salary is still 1,10,000. That means can I say again 70 minus 11? 59,000. Again exemption will be 55 and again taxable will be 1,000. November, December you will complete by yourself. Okay. February में slight change will come. February का rent is still 70 but 10% of salary this time will become 18 because salary has increased. So 70 minus 18, 52,000. Correct है? This time what will be your exemption? 52,000 because we have to take whichever is lowest and this time taxable will be 4,000. ये clear है? Last month 15,600 minus 18,000. Is this negative? Negative can't be your exemption. At best you can give nil exemption and pay tax on entire 56. Now listen, what are you supposed to do? एक तो you have to complete the months May, June, July, August, November and December. Then what will you do? Suno. Then take the total of this full row which will give you total of the exempt amount here. Then don't subtract. Nahin. Then take total of your taxable wala row and write the amount here. Means both rows ka total you will write. And finally you will check if this is matching. This will work as your internal control. Internal control you have studied in audit.
References are good.
Work done will be automatically changed. Check, change name. Work done will be automatically checked. Take the total of both rows and then check it in the column. You have a total of 15 minutes including your break. So faster you do this, faster it will happen. Zoom out के लिए you are telling me. Is it visible then?
Yes, yes.
ठीक है,
Numbers of one.
ठीक है. 15 minutes में we will resume. Okay. All right. We will call parents. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Deviyo Sajjana Mitro, welcome back. Let us go ahead. We are done with the first part of the chapter, that is allowances. We now go to the second part of the chapter, that is perquisites. Perquisites in corporate terminology are also famously and popularly known as perks. The perks of being in this profession. Perquisites are non-monetary benefits that your employer has provided to you. Perquisites are benefits in kind. Matlab, this time your employer is not giving you money. Your employer is not giving you, take this money, pay rent of a house. Your employer is giving you, take this key, go and sleep in this house. Kind benefit. Benefits in kind are known as perquisites. Because of your employer providing you this, is it going to save some expenditure of yours? Yes. Yes. So therefore, that is my profit. We have to learn directly. We have to learn kya directly the valuation of taxable perquisite. Directly go and learn valuation of taxable perquisite. Whatever you get as the final answer of this question is directly going to become the taxable amount. First of all, you need to understand what is a perquisite. Under a perquisite, there will be some expenditure which will be incurred by your employer. There will be some outflow of money from your employer ka pocket, but thus just that the money will not come in your hand. But this will result in some benefit of the employer. In simple language, what is going to happen here is employer is going to make payment to a third party. And because this third party has received money from your employer, this third party is going to provide some benefit to guess whom? The employer. Now the point here is that supposingly the employer does not make this payment, then for this benefit, who will have to pay? The employee himself. But are you saving that amount so paid? Because on your behalf, the payment has been made by your employer. And thus, what you need to understand is this payment is my savings. This payment is my profit. Hello? And thus, this payment will be added in my taxable income. Amount paid by employer to third party is my profit. It will be added in my taxable income. Take house rent for example. If your boss is giving you money, that is allowance. We've studied tax. But if the boss is giving you keys of a house, boss will be paying rent of that house. Now think about it, because boss has paid rent of the house, so you as an employee don't have to pay that rent. Is that your saving? That will be added in your taxable perquisite. Supposingly you want drinking water. Boss is paying for option 1, boss will give you money. Take this money, drink water. That's allowance. Acha, tell me one thing. What is tax treatment of water allowance? Q, we have not studied any exemption. But if your boss says, lo, pio, so perquisite. Boss must have paid this shopkeeper. No. So I saved it. Amount paid by boss to shopkeeper is my perquisite, because that is my saving. Do you understand? So if you have to learn the general rule of perquisite valuation, it is very, very simple. Do you agree that whatever is the expense of the employer towards the third party is my saving? Do you agree with this? Expense of the employer towards the third party is my saving. Do you agree with this? But small catch here. My boss gave me one bottle. I drank it. Boss paid 10 rupees to the shopkeeper. I saved 10 rupees. But I drink a lot of water. Boss bolta, I can't afford so much. I am a heavy drinker. Boss says, I can't afford so much. The boss says, I will pay for maximum 5 bottles per lecture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Boss says, I will pay for maximum 5 bottles per lecture. Please understand. Huh? Supposingly in that lecture, I drank 10 bottles. The boss has agreed to pay only for 5. The remaining 5, I will pay. But then, hua kya? That boss got that from a shop. No, the boss paid for all the 10 bottles. So here, the full cost of 10 bottles is covered. But now, it was mutually decided that 5 bottles ka price I am going to pay. So what will the boss do? Take that money from me. Either he can take it in cash, or what is the other better way of giving it back to your boss? Guess karo. That means there will be some amount that will be recovered by employer. There will be some recovered amount by employer from employee. And the amount so recovered, think about it logically. Is this much proportion or portion going from the employee ka pocket? If I am only paying it, it can't be. So taxable perquisite में that much value we will subtract. Take another example with numbers. You will get better clarity. My boss gives me keys of a house where he is paying 80,000 rupees come monthly rent. Am I saving that 80,000? So he paying third party. Look at the first point. Employer ka expenditure towards third party. 80,000. That is my perquisite. But when I saw that house, I told my boss, sir, I don't like this house. You are paying 80,000. I am still not liking the house. What's the point? Your expenditure is becoming waste. Sir, there is a building next to this building where there is a better house. Building infrastructure is better and neighbors are also very good. I want a house in that building. Problem is that house ka monthly rent is 1 lakh. Now boss ka budget was how much? 80,000. Boss says no problem. I will pay maximum 80. Where will the remaining 20 come from? Recovered from employee. Now one option is boss pays 80, you pay 20. But landlord is not foolish that he will come and coordinate with two people. So practically what we will do, employer will do contract with landlord to pay every month 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh. So tell me one thing, what is expenditure of the employer? 1 lakh. However, from your salary, he will adjust 20,000 because it was mutually agreed. That means, is that 20,000 going to be paid by you? So effectively from the pocket of the employer, how much has gone net? Only that much can be your perquisite. Anything that you have paid from the total amount can't be your perquisite. And therefore, in every perquisite that we are going to learn, if there is some amount that was charged against your salary, reduced or recovered from your salary, that much amount will always be reduced or subtracted from the valuation of your taxable perquisite. Does this make sense to you? Does this make sense? So expenditure of employer minus the amount which is recovered from the employee is the general rule of perquisite valuation. But of course, all perquisites cannot be studied like this. I'll make you understand this problem with one small example. If my boss is taking house on rent, he will pay rent. That's my perquisite. By chance, he takes something from my salary, so I will subtract it. But what if my boss purchases the house and gives it to me to live? So in this case, the boss is not going to pay rent of the house. In this case, the boss is going to pay the purchase price of the house. You use your common sense. Purchase price of the house cannot become taxable perquisite. Q? He has not gifted the house to me. My benefit is this financial year I have used it. How do I find? There is difficulty. And thus we have some perquisite valuation rule in specific cases. If your boss is taking school admission of your children by paying some school, so whatever boss will pay, that will come here. But if your boss itself is an educational institution and not charging fees to your children, that can't come here because there is no expenditure income. If your boss is paying a hospital the bill, that can come here. But if your boss itself is a hospital, that can't come here. If your boss is buying gas or water or electricity and giving it to you, so whatever is the cost paid can come here. But if your boss is HP Gas, Bharat Gas or Parle, who is manufacturing distillery, or Adani Power or Tata Power, which is manufacturing electricity and providing you free electricity, that can't be expenditure of the employer because we are ourselves manufacturers of this. There are some perquisites which can't come in this rule. Do you understand? And thus we have specific perquisite valuation rules, about 10-15 cases where complicated valuation rules have to be studied. But anything which does not get covered in those 10-15 cases, the general rule will always be this: anything which boss has paid, I have saved. So whatever boss has paid is my perquisite. However, if there is some amount which is recovered from me, from my salary, either I pay my employer or he deducts from my salary, so that much amount has gone from my pocket, that can't be perquisite, because perquisite ka definition is employer ka cost and my benefit. If my cost, then it can't be perquisite. Is that clear? So two things you will have to understand. Therefore, if cost is of employee, it is not a perquisite, which is why we are subtracting that much amount. Correct? And one more thing, very important, if benefit is of employer, that also can't be a perquisite. So no, come here. It is compulsory that the benefit is of the employee. Otherwise, it can't be perquisite. Supposingly, your boss has put some chairs and tables in office. It can't be perquisite because you are sitting in that. Your boss has installed ACs in office, it can't be perquisite. You understand? Anything which is done for his benefit can't be your perquisite. Perquisite is his cost, my benefit. His cost, my benefit. If cost is mine, it can't be perquisite. If benefit is his, it can't be my perquisite. Perquisite ka definition is cost of employer, benefit of employee. Employer will pay third party, that will only become value of perquisite. ये correct है? And if by chance he recovers anything from my salary, so that much will be reduced. Everyone is clear and sorted about this? Chalo, fantastic. Now, third point. Get this clear. If your boss is providing you any benefit in the form of reimbursement, it will always be considered as perquisite. Reimbursements will always be considered as perquisite. First of all, do we know what does this thing called reimbursement mean? What does this mean?
You make some expenditure for the company and the boss giving you the money back.
You have already paid to the third party and boss is giving you that money. So if you observe the transaction between employer and employee, you will feel, sir, money. You will go on the wrong track thinking that it is allowance. No, sir. Allowances generally are paid as fixed amounts irrespective of expenditure. Supposingly, boss is paying a hospital for your treatment. So employer is paying hospital, hospital is giving you treatment. Is it allowance or perquisite? Perquisite, because it is indirect benefit. He is not giving you money. But then, boss has agreed to pay hospital bill, does not mean that at the time of discharge, you call the boss, sir, aao na, bill bharna. He will remind you, bro, I am the boss. I have agreed to pay you the money. I have agreed to pay the hospital the bill. I never agreed that I will come to do your discharge of formalities. Just imagine, you will tell your boss, sir, Mediclaim ka work also you only do. Boss has agreed to bear the cost. Boss has not agreed to do your clerical work. So what will your boss say? Son, you pay the hospital bill and come to office. Show me the bill and take the money. So you first pay from your pocket. To whom? To the hospital. Then you come to the office to show all the details of the amounts paid. In that also do some fake. Well, what? That's your choice. Now is your boss giving you money? So your brain will probably think that it is allowance. It is not allowance. It is perquisite, because listen to this. Your boss is not giving you the money. He is giving it to the hospital. But the money is coming to you because you already paid to the hospital. It is like boss has paid to the hospital through you. You paid advance, so boss is giving it to you. Reimbursement will. It is not paid to you. It is paid to third party. And therefore reimbursement will always be considered as perquisite. Samjha? So every time we talk about reimbursement ka tax treatment, no, we have to keep it in mind on the angle of perquisite and discuss this. So whether it is travel, whether it is food, whether it is anything, reimbursement will always be looked with the angle of perquisite.
What if expense incurred by employer or this hospital and
It is neither allowance nor perquisite. Perquisite के definition में it is not coming. It first has to come in the definition. So supposingly your boss, we had seen that, tour, travel, transfer, conveyance, etc. Your boss is sending you for some work. You go there, in course of that you incur some expenses. Ticket ka cost, auto ka cost, train ka cost, hotel ka cost, food ka cost. You come and tell him, sir, I have spent total 2,500 rupees. He is giving you that money. Is that reimbursement? So you are getting confused with this line. Reimbursement is per. No. But it has to be benefit of the employee. When I say always per, matlab reimbursement is not allowance. Your brain will probably tell you it is allowance because money is given. So reimbursement you will put under allowance ke perquisite, not under allowance. Where will you put? Perquisite. But to come under perquisite also, the benefit has to come to the employee. So if the expenditure is incurred for office, it does not fall in the definition only.
So like office tour पे गए, वहाँ पे खाने के लिए भी हमारी जो order करना है,
It's office tour. That is not perquisite. Question nahi. You do this planning in real life. If your boss is ordering food for you in office, that's a taxable perquisite. Because day to day it is not his duty to provide food. If he is providing food, that is extra. So what do? Make the boss pay for the food and then say that I had gone to some field work. This is this food. तो वो टूर का खर्चा है. So that is not a perquisite. Style है bro. Followed? This is the general rule. General rule will be what? Whatever boss has paid minus whatever you have recovered from the employee. ये clear है?
Because employer is so expensive, tax benefit दे रहे तो कौन से tax?
Yes, obviously. However, as you have understood that some complicated perquisites cannot be covered in this valuation. Q? Because I give you an example. If boss is taking house on rent, it is possible to value. But if the boss is buying the house, it is not possible to value. So those 10-15 cases we will go and learn. And what if I tell you that after we finish this heading of 10-15 perquisites, that is valuation of taxable perquisites, perquisites will get over, income from salary will get over. Last part of income from last matlab still big. It won't get done today. Tomorrow may not be done. You know, unfortunately, I was thinking that if by Saturday I complete तो salary में gap नहीं होगा. New lecture we can start with PGBP. We'll see. We have, for example, merge lecture में. Is there a second lecture of mine between the two lectures, Friday, Saturday? Friday में my lecture is second lecture. Tomorrow, no? And that also, your first lecture is what? 1, 2, 3 or 4 or ऐसा कुछ. 1 hour 45 minutes तो नहीं होगा. It will change. So supposingly I take the lecture early. Say 4:30, 4:15, 4:30 is the earliest that I can reach tomorrow. उससे पहले I can't reach. तो अभी आपके पास choice है. देखो three options. Attend IDT and you are too lazy to sit for such a long. Or who is going to sit for so long? So bunk DT because your generation is only that. Option 2, sir, IDT is only small lecture 2 hours. DT में important topic is going on. So some people will bunk IDT. बोला directly I will come for DT का lecture. I know your nature and I know what you are going. And there is a third option. Sir, so what if there is a long break? I will sit and revise, eat some food, listen to some music. वो नहीं तो फिर घर जाके वापस भी आ सकते हो. You live close by. Suno, and by the way, we are going to reduce. Then we will discuss today. I'll discuss with the management and you'll be informed by way of a message. But then point is that if we start early, like 4:30 or 4:45, so you are used to sitting till 9 o'clock regular. So अगर थोड़ा सा extra ले लिया, तो we don't have to come on Sunday also. नहीं, but that depends on who you learn it from. ठीक है. When you will get एकदम irritated, no? We'll take a break of 5 minutes and आप बोलना गाना गा के सुना दूंगा. हाँ तो कोई बात नहीं. Test also. You are so talented that some of you all have given house property का test without studying house property. Some of you all have given tax rates का test without studying tax rates. हाँ मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ. तो you all can do any test. इतना प्राउड फीलिंग आई हैव फॉर यू गाइस, है ना? तो सुनो, विल सी. आई विल आस्क सर अगर थोड़ा सा एक्सटेंड होता है. आई जस्ट वांट कि अगर इट गेट्स डन तो बेट, नहीं तो क्या वर्ड्स टू वर्ड सिनेरियो विल हैव अबाउट 2 hours ऑफ सैलरी रिमेनिंग. वर्ड्स थिंक दैट वो है. प्रॉब्लम वो नहीं है. प्रॉब्लम इज दैट व्हेन आफ्टर द गैप वी रिज्यूम, इन दैट वी विल बी डूइंग फुल फ्लेजेड सैलरी का क्वेश्चन. So their gratuity का adjustment will come, HRA का adjustment will come, pension का adjustment will come. You will see starts broad daylight में. So then, if you are unwilling for that, the second option only remaining is do extensive revision over your. मतलब there is no Diwali break. But that one test का पढ़ाई के चक्कर में दिवाली में full Diwali will be revising salary. Very good. Test का marks and results are given to parents, right? ये देख सेकंड टाइम बोला लाइफ में. अच्छा, they get the message of your marks advance में. DT का टेस्ट you have given, you guys don't count that marks at all. ठीक है, चलो नहीं अभी इधर time we don't have to kill. We have to learn valuation of complicated perquisites. Total 10-15 we have. After these 10-15 salary will get over. We will do full fledged like we did house property का full chapter का revision no in one question. We have couple of questions like that. Every chapter we have such questions. But first the complicated perquisites. Now, not all perquisites are very big. The two biggest are house and car. So to balance, I do house starting and car last. And in between I do the small size ones. Okay, the first perquisite where your boss is giving you a rent free, or it can also be a concessional rent. Now that you have understood the concept of recovery from salary, so you know the difference between rent free and concessional rent. If your boss is giving you 80,000 ka house free of cost, so it is rent free. But if he is deducting 10,000 from your salary, so that is concessional rent. It is still benefit of 70,000. I hope you understand. And this house can again be furnished or unfurnished accommodation. What you have not probably noticed or observed in all your copying skills is that this one chart is going to teach us 4 permutations. The two easy ones are furnished house or unfurnished house, and does not require explanation that furnished house ka value will be higher than unfurnished house. And there can be rent free or unfurnished, means your boss rent free or concessional rent. Boss is giving you keys and not charging anything, so it will be rent free, and charging some nominal amount by reducing from your salary is concession. That means the 4 possibilities are, hear me out: rent free furnished, rent free unfurnished, concessional rent furnished, and concessional rent. 4 things ka calculation will be done in one chart. The chart first starts by giving us value of rent free unfurnished accommodation. First valuation is that. What is the first thing? Rent free unfurnished accommodation. There is a chart. Whatever is there in the chart, we will learn. Listen, whatever value we get is the value of rent free unfurnished. Now hear me out, please. Is it possible that your boss is giving you furnished house? So what are they doing? They are saying add value of furniture here, and here. So if you add value of furniture in an unfurnished house, you get value of the furnished house. But this is rent free. By chance, boss is charging something by reducing from your salary. So what do? Subtract the amount which is recovered, like we do in the general rule also. So we get value of concessional rent. Matlab, listen, if it is rent free unfurnished, this is my answer. If it is rent free furnished, then this plus this is my answer. If it is concessional rent unfurnished, then this minus recovery is my answer. And if it is concessional rent furnished, then all 3 amounts will come. Means start with rent free unfurnished, and by the end the chart will give us all the possibilities. You understand? Starting point of the chart is going to be which value? Rent free unfurnished. Starting point is going to be rent free unfurnished. Everyone is with me? You will have to go and check whether this employee is government employee or non-government employee. See, non-government employees को employers give a house or no, it is questionable. Some employers may, some may not. But as far as government employees are concerned, they are always given quarters. Hey, it's a Thursday, not a Saturday. So, suno, which quarter? Government quarter. मैं बोला, I said it. अरे servant quarter, staff quarter. Hello. We are talking about staff quarters. Arey, my grandfather had railway quarters. Even today, when we go to that railway station in Rajasthan where he was posted, we exit the railway station. It's just outside the railway station. We say, "ये देखो हमारा quarter वाला घर." When we say quarter wala ghar, does not mean that in the evening whole family used to sit together. No. The government housing societies are called staff quarters, railway quarters, etc. Okay. Government employees will always get a house to live. Non-government employees may or may not. For government employees, the value will be the value according to license fee house valuation rules of government. The value according to license fee house valuation rules of government. देखो, we are learning income tax law. Other than that, there are plenty and thousands of other laws also in our country. One such law is government house valuation rules, which is obviously not a part of income tax. So basically, you learn first income tax properly. You don't have to learn these house valuation rules. This will always be given to you in the question. But if they want to play around with you, and which in tax they always do, they will tell you the license fee house valuation rule value is 8 lakhs. However, the fair market rent of the property is 10 lakh. So what's your answer? 8 lakh only. It will always be as per this. In fact, once we are done with the chart, we will write notes. First note I am telling you orally, fair market rent is irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. Because we are going to be doing valuation as per license fee rules. Whether the fair market rent is higher or lower, first point only we will write it is irrelevant. Is that clear? So government employees ka valuation will be license fee house valuation rule. But non-government employee, here is the twist. Do you understand that when a non-government employee is getting a house, it can be owned by the employer or it can be rented by the employer. Now, as far as the rented cases are concerned, it is still easy to find out the value because the rent paid by the employer is revenue expenditure. So that rent is useful only in this financial year. So that rent is perquisite of this financial year. Correct? But if the employer purchases the house and gives it to you, it's a capital expenditure. The house purchased will be used for many years and we have to find perquisite of this year. The cost of house can't be perquisite unless he is gifting it. We have to find out if my boss is buying 5 crore worth house and giving me to live, what is my benefit in this financial year? Now the problem here is that there is no way in which we can find out. Think about it. Here, I still repeat and you all have understood. 5 crore ka house hai, so it will be 12 lakh ka rent per annum. So that is 12 lakh ka benefit for the current year. But 12 lakh can be taken as the benefit. 5 crore cannot be taken as the benefit. And do you realize we don't have any other logical option also? What else is the option? Think about it. Your boss has just purchased the house and you have to find out 1 year ka benefit. And whenever there is no option, income tax, to make it simple for you, will give you notional basis valuation. Because there is no other option. Sir, suno, what do we have as knowledge about notional basis? What have we studied about notional basis? Is this logical? We have studied this when we did tea coffee rubber wala business. Is this logical? No, but it will solve the problem. That's the logic. When nothing is happening, this will solve the problem. So notional basis they have given the answer. And this is not required for rented houses. Be clear about that. Why rented houses we don't require notional basis? Because the rent can become perquisite. But in purchased houses, the rent cannot, there is no purchase price cannot become perquisite. So what do? Purchased houses with notional basis. You will have to go and check population of place of, again, house. Your boss is giving you house to live Your boss is giving you house to live. By buying it, not renting, renting is separately covered on the right side. So where is that house? Which city, town or village it is? That city, town or village ka population you go and check. If the population of that city, town or village is greater than 40 lakhs, it's a big city. Housing over there will be expensive, and thus 10% of your salary will become your perquisite. There is no other option. There is no other option. In big cities, we are assuming that your housing will consume 10% of your income. And thus, if your boss is providing it, you are saving 10% of it. But if the population is less than or equal to 40 lakh, but greater than 15 lakh, so we will reduce, because it's a tier 2 city, the valuation will reduce to 7.5% of salary. And if the population of that place is less than 15 lakh, if your boss has given you in some very small town or village, so it is going to be 5% of your salary. And be clear about the following things. Thing 1, we will see the place of house. Means if boss is giving you house in Noida, but your office is in Delhi, you will see population of Noida. The same thing we saw in HRA also. Second, as the population of that city increases, your expense increases for housing, thus valuation also will increase. So if the population is 0 to 15 lakh, 5% of salary. More than 15 to 40 lakh, 7.5, and more than 40 lakh. And of course, what a salary to take? Note 2. Sir, why note 2? Note 1 mein we are writing fair market rent is irrelevant. Note 1 mein fair market rent is irrelevant we are writing. So note 2 mein we will define this. What will we define? What is salary, period and components. And third and the last thing, notional basis is the only thing that is going to work here, because it's a capital expenditure. We can't make that your perquisite. No other option is available. When they have to ask you this question in exam, either they will give you directly the population, or they will give you such an obvious place where you don't have to think. They will give you house provided in Mumbai. What do you think? Mumbai ka population will be more than 40 lakh? No, ek kaam karo. We have your nearby railway station. Take a train and go to a place called Dadar in Mumbai. Dadar railway station right now, at this given point, you count people, it will be 40 lakh. And listen, count only people on the bridge. Don't count the ones which are climbing or coming down of the stairs. That will be another 40 lakh. Don't count people who are entering or exiting the trains at the platforms. That will be another 40. Don't exit the station and go to that full market outside the station, the other west. There will be another 40 lakh. That will be another 40 lakh. Pata hai? I have taken coaching classes over there as a student, and I have taught in that area as a teacher many years. Horrible hai bhai. College hai? Podar? Ruparel? Kirti College. Kirti is still far away. Not outside full market. Horrible. Horrible is not the word. And every time those hawkers are removed, next day they reappear. They prakat, avatar hai. Prakat. So, Mumbai ka point ye hai, Mumbai ka population is more than 40 lakhs. So, that is very, very obvious. So, 0 to 15 lakh, 5%. More than 15 lakh, 7.5, and more than 40 lakh, 10%. There is no other option, so we have to follow notional basis. I was waiting for someone to ask. This is only the second time in my career that a student actually asked me this question. Excellent question. That day when that first student asked, he was from May 24 CA inter batch. So recent batch in fact. And that batch was at a place called Mulund in Mumbai. Crazy, matlab. 80% students of that batch got exemption in tax. 80% is other. 10% are never serious. And felicitation, exemption ka felicitation which I do annually, exemption party, I had invited all of them. I personally call every student. Whoever has registered. See, if you are not interested, I can't do anything about it. But if you register, then as a courtesy, as a host, I make personal call to every student for that annual event. Of course, on the cover page of my book, I print only 70s and 80s because we have limited space. 60s wale ke liye I don't have that much space only on the cover page. But crazy batch, that boy. And after teaching thousands of students, if I remember that Rugved Kadam ne mujhe ye question pucha. So do you understand how much respect I have for that knowledge? Or then from today, if I remember, Vishwaraj had asked this question, only the second guy. Of course, normally Vishwaraj is busy planning something else. But for a moment, he asked an excellent question and listen to his question. He had asked the same question with different words. He said, sir, why can't you take ALV only as the answer? There is no actual rent. Boss is buying it, giving it to employee. Buying and giving it to employee. There is no actual rent. Correct? What is house property ka income? ALV or actual, whichever is high. Correct? There is no actual rent. So ALV of this property should be taken as the perquisite. But suno. Nahi. DLOP wala take. Let's change the words. But why that can't be the answer? Because in that calculation, the owner is also earning profits. We don't have to take owner ka profits as a part of your perquisite. Your benefit as an employee. Rent mein, when a tenant pays to the landlord, then landlord ka expenditure in the form of repairs, maintenance, insurance, etc. plus profit part. As an employee, your benefit should be only your utilization, not the profit of the employer. So we can't take ALV. So to keep it simple, they have given as a percentage of your salary.
If he was paying the profit,
Who was paying?
if the employee is paying the profit का होगा, but जब उसको as a perquisite मिल रहा है तब हमको pay.
हाँ, obviously, correct. Because if he is paying, the landlord is earning, no. But here it is employer-owned premises. When he is paying rent, we will take the actual rent only, no, in the perquisite. But here there is no rent actually paid. So the profit element of that market rent can't be taken in the perquisite. Thus, we are keeping it simple: 10, 7.5, and 5%. Exactly. Understood the answer? And now let's talk about the easy case. What is the easy case? Your boss has taken a house on rent, and that rented house your boss is giving to you to use. Here the perquisite valuation is very easy. What is your instant answer? Rent paid by employer to landlord or owner, whatever you want to write it. Is that the savings of the employee? Think about it. Correct? Hai? So this can be the perquisite. We can do a full stop here. But then welcome to direct tax. Sir is not making the law. So no, and new income tax act mein act ka sections are changing. Perquisite valuation is not given in act, it is given in income tax rules. Rules are not changing. So new income tax mein they will change the section number, but perquisite valuation is given in IT rules only. You understand? This will be compared with 10% of your salary. Salary same as what we are doing in note 2. And out of these two, we will take, observe carefully, whichever is lower. So in case of purchased houses, it is 10, 7.5 or 5% of your salary. In case of rented house, your instant answer by logic was 10% of, actual rent. But this actual rent we are restricting to 10% of salary. It is actual rent or 10% of salary, whichever is lower. Till here, everyone is clear about the logic. So the only question is, sir, why this extra point? Why this extra point? Sir, in purchased houses, there is no option, so we are following notional. But in rented houses, we know the rent amount. Then why unnecessarily you are putting this extra rule of restricted to 10% of salary, not more than 10%, whichever is lower? Sometimes landlords artificially increase rents. That does not mean that tenant is getting more benefit. Employee is getting more perquisite. I will explain. Supposingly there is a boss who has 2 employees. Salary same, respect same, post same, decision making, everything is same. One is Daya, other is Abhijit. You know Daya and Abhijit. You can't not know Daya and Abhijit. My full childhood went thinking that one day I want to become CID officer. Only when I grew up I came to know that they are actors. Seriously, scam ho gaya. Their boss. ACP. One day when I was giving this example in a class, a student interfered and said, "Sir, wrong example. They are government employees." मैं बोला, "हे भगवान, हाँ, government employees is the first part of the chart." I said, "Sorry, my bad. They are private detective agency." Happy? Now they have given 20 years to CID, solved all cases in one episode. Still, no one got promoted, even ACP. Finally, they want to retire. So ACP said, "I will give one house to both of you all to live. But condition is that the house should be same because both of you all are same form." Means same building, same floor, everything should be same. Same view, same floor area. After lot of research, Daya and Abhijit got two houses which are symmetrical, next to each other, copy of each other, exact same. Same building, same floor area, same view, everything same. First house ACP purchased and gave it to Abhijit first. Two reasons. Alphabetically A comes first. And second, Abhijit also had to settle with Dr. Tarika. Daya had no such thing. So first preference to Abhijit. But now to keep them equal, he has to purchase the second house and give it to Daya. Abhijit ka perquisite valuation will be 10% of salary because it is Mumbai purchased house. Daya ka perquisite value should also be 10% of salary. But unfortunately, that second house ka owner was me. And I came to know that ACP can give only this house, no other house. I say I don't want to sell. I will give on rent. And that rent I am charging 5 times, 10 times of the market rent. And I tell ACP, lena hai to lena, get lost. ACP is like, kuch to kar. Now what? Poor guy has no choice but to pay me excessive rent because one house is already given to Abhijit. Now he paying me more rent does not mean Daya ka benefit is more than Abhijit. Even in purchased houses, the biggest of cities, highest valuation taken is 10% of salary. Then rental houses ka value cannot exceed 10% of salary. ये logic है. Nothing is bigger than logic. Thus, maximum 10% of salary. Nothing is bigger than logic. So purchased houses, direct notes. Rented houses, actual rent, but restricted to 10% of salary. Are you understood? But this is value of rent-free. Unfurnished house, we have two more adjustments because we have total 4 permutations. In whatever valuation we have got here, and observe carefully, when I say whatever, matlab, even the government guys, was this value of government wala? License fee rule? Is this the value of the private sector owned house, 10, 7.5 or 5? And is this value of private sector rented house, rent paid or 10% of salary, whichever is lower? All the 3 values are rent-free, unfurnished, rent-free, unfurnished. Now we have to complete the other 2 possibilities. What are the 2 possibilities? 1. If your boss is giving you furniture, so what will we do? In this value, we will add value of furniture. Just imagine, if I add value of furniture here, which value I have? Rent-free furniture. Correct or no? And then of course, you know, concessional rent ke liye what do I have to do? Subtract the recovery. So automatically I will get concessional rent also. And that also furnished, unfurnished, both I will get. Correct? Furniture ka value given to us is 10% per annum of the original cost. Matlab listen, 10% is per annum furniture ka value. If boss is giving you furniture only for 6 months, so we will apply 10% into 6 by 12. 1 month, so 10% into 1 by 12. Proportionate. Full year ka perquisite will be 10%. 10% into 12 nahi karna, 10% is full year. If it is part of a year, so we do proportionate. So supposingly boss is buying TV, fridge, AC, washing machine, sofa, dining table worth 2 lakh and giving it to you along with the house. The annual perquisite is 20,000. You understand? But if it was given only for 6 months, so it will be 10,000 only, no? Or higher charges. So 2 things you will have to understand. 1, am I writing the same line under all the 3? Matlab whether it is this case or this case, furniture ka value is same. House ka value may be different, but furniture ka value is same. Is this visible clearly? And second cheese ka answer you will have to give. Second cheese ka answer. You will have to tell me, I have written 2 things, 10% per annum of original cost or higher charges. Whichever is higher, yeah, whichever is lower. Like last time we did rent or 10% of salary, whichever is lower. Here it will be 10% of original cost or higher charges. Whichever is higher, Okay, whichever is lower.
So it wants more tax.
Oh, 10% of original cost or higher charges, whichever is higher ke lower. Think, digest, analyze, give me the answer, please. Anybody giving me correct answer with reason will be eligible for something. Higher. क्यों? गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉयज को बेनिफिट कैसे? हायर मतलब हायर अमाउंट विल बी टैक्सेबल, नो? दिस इज परक्यूजिट वैल्यू. Okay, we are taking lower at one place, so we should take lower at all the places. If I will give you the correct answer here, no, you will want to do Atmahatya. And we are near completion of today's class. So where to buy the quality mal, I will tell you. Anyone wants to try this? Online kids never participate in anything. बैठे हैं लोग, रोज बैठते हैं, but then if there are cameras off and it is as good as nobody is sitting. बस क्लास चालू कर दिया because class का policy है. Otherwise, without participation, I can't serve quality only.
Lower करेंगे तो actual benefit of all. So we have
Wrong. छोड़ दो.
10% of original cost of furniture, right?
हाँ.
And higher charges. So higher charges could obviously be lower than the.
हो गया. हाँ. ठीक है. Now I will give you the answer, and you will want to commit suicide after this. And where to buy quality stuff for, so that ऐसा नहीं हो कि you just get hospitalized and come back. You have brain, एक पैसे का brain. That supposingly you go to a shop and buy sofa. You buy the sofa, then you pay the rent of it. नहीं, नहीं ना. Do you pay rent of something that you have purchased? So you have bheja to understand it will always be any one of them. You don't have bheja to understand. If the boss is buying furniture and giving it to you, then you take 10% of cost. And if the boss is renting furniture and giving it to you, so you will take higher charges. You have brain that we did this year, that owned by employer and rented by employer are two mutually exclusive cases. पागल लोग एकदम कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ में समर सेइंग हायर. सर बेनिफिट टू गवर्नमेंट तो हायर ही होगा ना. सर वन प्लेस इट इज लोअर, तो क्या पागल है? And if you, then I want to be the shopkeeper who wants to sell things to you because you are talented. After buying things, you still pay rent. You don't pay rent of things that you have purchased. Hello? Some have still not understood that either we buy or we rent. It cannot be both. It will be anyone. Matlab, if the boss purchases furniture and gives it to you, 10% of all, 10% of cost, but that is annual value. We'll see proportionate of the period provided. If full year provided, then full 10%. And if the boss has paid rent, so whatever rent he has paid, that is my purchase because I saved. Higher lower कर रहे हो. ये हुआ. And second, this is now the value of rent-free furnished house. Now what will we do? From this, is it possible that your employer has deducted something from your salary? That is concessional house. So what will we do? Any amount recovered by employer from employee. And again, this also is getting subtracted in all the three cases. I hope you understand. Matlab, one last time, if it is only rent-free unfurnished, so we stop at this main value. If it is rent-free furnished, so main value plus furniture. Concessional rent unfurnished, so main value minus concession, minus recovery. And concessional rent furnished means all the three amounts will come. Clear hua?
Yes.
Everyone? That's the value of your taxable perk in house. and this will get added in your income from salary. So this long calculation is a small amount in income from salary, which is a small amount in entity. Welcome to taxation. And by the way, what if I tell you that valuation ka chart is over, but the first perquisite, which is one of the biggest, and this and motor car are the two biggest. Motor car we will do last. This is not the end. This is not the end, bro. We have to write notes. दो नहीं है. दो का we have given reference in the chart, but there are more than two. What is the first note? The fair market rent is going to be always irrelevant. Whatever valuation is given in the chart is what we will take. Fair market rent is always going to be considered as irrelevant. ये clear है? Hello? Second, definition of salary. Every time we do salary, we need two things. क्या? Period and components. One, period. This we have done today, so you will understand this. That period for which house was provided on rent on due basis, ignoring any advance or arrears of salary. We did this in HRA. HR, सुना हुआ है कि two tight slabs I will give you today. I have taught you. What do you mean by सुना हुआ है? हाँ. So listen, there my boss was giving money. With that money I was paying rent. So whichever period का rent I have paid, that period का salary I have to take. Your boss is not giving me money. Your boss is giving me house. So you check, boss gave you house for what period? Boss gave you house for full year, then take salary of full year. Boss gave you house for 6 months, then take salary of 6 months. Boss gave you house for 6 months, which is April to September. So you will take salary of those 6 months. You can't take any 6 months. Did I also discuss with you about alternate months? So those alternate months means whichever month he gives you house, that month ka salary you will take. And if it is full year, तो full year का एक मिनट रुको. Supposingly I have received some advance salary of next year in the current year. Don't nod your head first. Let me ask the question. You have received advance salary of next year in the current year. Will it be included in income from salary? Yes. Is it taxable income of the current year? Yes. It won't be included in this calculation. It is income of the year, but it won't be included in this calculation. ये clear हुआ? And when it comes to the components, while we are aware that they have, wherever income tax wants to give components, what they do is they have reasonably included only 3 things everywhere. Whenever other law is applicable, that law ka calculation. When other law is not applicable, the income tax ka calculation. Correct? This is a rare case where income tax itself has deviated from its normal system. In all other places, they include 3 things, exclude everything. What are the 3 things that we include? Basic, DA in terms, and fixed percentage commission. And exclude everything else. Correct? Hai? Here they say, take all components. Means, फटाफट बोलो. Will we take basic? DA in terms? DA not in terms? Yes. Bonus? Project allowance? Tiffin allowance? Roti kapda makan allowance? All perquisites? Everything you have to take. Except the following. Means, normally income tax follows inclusive system. Take 3 things. But here income tax follows excluding wala system. Don't take these things. Which things? Don't take any DA which is not in terms. That means take only which DA? In terms. Second, don't take the exempt part of allowances. Do you know that every time my boss gives me an allowance, I write that allowance in the inner column because some amount is exempt and taxable goes in the outer column. What they mean is don't take A, take C, take the taxable part. Means outer column mein whatever has come, take that. Exempt part don't take. Achha, by the way, DA in terms comes in outer column, but that you don't have to take because it is separately excluded. Correct? Don't take any taxable perk. Tell me one thing. Is taxable perk a part of components of your taxable salary? Is it a part of your outer column? Yes, but don't take here because we have just commenced perquisite valuation. So focus only on monetary benefits, non-monetary don't take for this calculation. Income from salary may take everything, but in this calculation you don't take it. Lastly, the 2 points related to provident fund. This, if you have attended the last class, only then you remember. Employer contribution to RPF, recognized provident fund. Do you remember the tax treatment? How much is taxable, how much is exempt? Employer to RPF, exempt up to 12% of salary. If you remember, we did one example to learn provident fund. 8,000 he contributed and 12% of salary was 6,000. The outer column mein how much came? 1 second. Now please pay attention. 6,000 is the minus in the inner column only. That's the exempt part. That the any which way we are not taking. What is that amount which comes in the outer column? 2,000. That excess over 12% of salary. That also we don't have to take. Means exempt part though is gone only. Taxable part also we don't have to take. Exempt part is gone here, 6,000. What is coming in the outer column? The taxable part of 2,000. That also we don't have to take. And lastly, what about interest on RPF? Do you know this? 9.5. Matlab inner column mein we will write up to 9.5% is exempt. 1 second. Exempt part is already gone. What comes in the outer column? The taxable part. What is the taxable part? In excess of 9.5% per annum. That also you don't have to take. Matlab, for provident fund, the system is whatever is minus in the inner column, that will not come. Although it is covered here itself that it will not come. But anything which comes in the outer column also will not come. Means outer column amounts we have to take. Automatically exempt part is gone. But in the outer column amounts, DA not in terms will not come. Perquisites will not come. And the two concepts of provident fund will not come. Principal and interest. Other than this, DA in terms, bonus, project allowance, helper allowance, servant allowance, whatever comes in the outer column, all allowances will be taken. Medical allowance, car allowance, project allowance, bonus, anything will be taken. So everywhere else they follow inclusive system where they include 3 things. Here they follow exclusive system where they exclude these things and everything else will be covered. Is that clear? Major part of this big perquisite is over. There are about 2 to 3 other points to be noted in these notes, which of course we will continue in tomorrow's class. Please make sure you have revised till here because we will be solving questions on this part. I will see you guys in tomorrow's